Hey, welcome to the Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Schlatter. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is college planning. Specifically, we're going to talk about the FAFSA and why even high net worth families should make sure that they file the FAFSA every year if their kids are going to school. For those of you with kids in college or getting ready to start college, you probably know the financial aid filing for 2024 to 2025 has been a little messed up. That has to do with the new laws that were passed last year that were meant to simplify the financial aid process. Basically stripped out a whole bunch of questions out of the free application for student aid, also known as the FAFSA. This has resulted in some delays. They didn't even open the FAFSA until December. Of probably the number one question that I get from high net worth families regarding the FAFSA or student aid of any sort is, why should I bother? Families feel like if they have high net worth, high income, they're not going to qualify for any student aid anyway, so why bother applying? So today we're going to talk about the 3 reasons why even high net worth families should apply for student aid using the FAFSA. Number 1, some schools require the forms to still be filled out even to distribute their own institutional merit-based financial aid. So that could include things like scholarships, tuition discounts, any number of different merit-based aid are still going to require you to fill out the FAFSA. Reason number 2, if something were to happen and for whatever reason you aren't able to liquidate the assets that you were planning on using to paying for college, then you haven't filled out the FAFSA. You're not going to be eligible for any sort of federal assistance or student aid programs. You want to make sure that you filled out the FAFSA so that you qualify in case of an emergency, in case something happens where you're not able to fund college the way you'd originally intended to. Number 3, not all schools award financial aid based on financial need. Sometimes the FAFSA is just one step in the process of them. There are also some types of financial aid that aren't need-based, but they still require you to fill out the FAFSA. Direct student loans are one of those. You may be thinking, I'm planning on paying for college for my children out of pocket. Why do I need to worry about qualifying for student aid? Why do I need to worry about qualifying for student loans? Well, there's a couple reasons for this. I actually know some situations where a child went to undergraduate school. They had everything saved up. The parents were planning on paying for that out of pocket, so they didn't worry about filing with FAFSA or applying for any student loans. Child was able to make it through undergrad without taking out any student loans whatsoever. Everything was paid for, but they decided to go on and pursue a master's degree. They didn't have enough saved up for the master's degree, and the plan was for the child to pay their own way through the master's. The parents felt like they'd done their part by paying for the undergrad. The child was going to pay for the master's degree. The kids get off to a master's program. They're applying. They get the awards package. It's not what they were expecting. In fact, they found that there was no need-based aid available to the student at all, even though the student had no income and the parents were no longer supporting the child. The child was independent of the parents at this point. So they appealed to the school. The graduate school looked back and looked to see during their undergrad if they'd taken out any student loans. And they found that they hadn't taken out student loans and hadn't applied for student aid. So we'll use that as one of their reasons for declining the appeal for more student aid. You want to make sure that you are taking full advantage of any student aid available to you during undergrad. And that includes using any student loans that may be available. Now, if you're planning on paying for your student loans out of pocket, one of the strategies you may want to consider using is take out the student loans, and then as soon as the student loans are processed, pay it back immediately. That's taking advantage of the aid that is being offered to you by the schools. But then because you have the means, go ahead and pay it back so that there's no interest accruing, so it doesn't cost you anything other than the time it takes you to fill out the paperwork. Then if in the future you need to apply for more aid or you need to apply for an appeal to try to get additional funding or some need-based aid, the schools can look back and see, yes, you did take advantage of what was offered to you in the past, so I'll be more inclined to help you in the future. I hope this was helpful. In my opinion, it's important for any family sending their children to college to make sure that they fill out the FAFSA for every semester, regardless of whether you think you're going to actually need financial aid or not. Hope you found this helpful. Please like, subscribe, and follow for more.